How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. Today is going to be a sort of special video. It's funny when people are crying about Best Buy's closing, Sears closing, talking about how people are losing their retail jobs, and they completely miss the opportunity. Selling on Amazon is much better, and you can make far more money and have much more free time than if you were wasting your time working at a retail job, and essentially takes less work and really is a much more reputable job as we move forward into the future. Let's be honest, McDonald's is replacing its workers with robots. It's technologically replacing and that's essentially happening across the board. Workers are being phased out. So why wouldn't you want to have a job more like selling on Amazon, where all you need is essentially a Gmail, bank account, and a internet connection? You could get that at any local Starbucks, or you could get all those things at a local library, and you don't even need a library card these days. It's easier than ever, and we're seeing the stock market at record highs. Cryptocurrencies are cheap, and really it's an amazing time for people who are seeking opportunity, and the free market will eventually work out all these different problems. So don't worry, people are going to take their slice of the pie from Best Buy, and it's going to be the people who wised up. Probably a lot of the people who lose their jobs at Best Buy might turn to Amazon and be the big sellers, the next Mark Bezos or Bill Gates or whoever you want to pick and throw their name out there. But realistically, it's time to wake up and realize it's 2015 and people are going to use their phones. They're not going to go into a Best Buy as much, and that's just a sad reality. So while these things remain a novelty and they will continue to taper on for the next couple of years, realistically we are seeing the rise of cryptocurrencies and essentially the decline of the old paradigm, and these are all things that are part of it. But I want people to look at these things from an optimistic point of view. Best Buy put people out of business, and Best Buy deserves to go out of business for making the mistakes that they've made, just the same way that Facebook deserves to have their stocks falling for the mistakes that they've made. And naturally the free market will tend towards the way that the people choose to operate, and essentially that's what we're witnessing happening with cryptocurrencies right now. So this is going to be a more interesting video than normal. We're not exactly going to be talking about cryptocurrency. That is, we're not going to be limiting this conversation to only cryptocurrency, because I feel like there's a lot of events that are being orchestrated, happening, and occurring on a large scale right now. It's worth talking about. Of course, the market cap, new record highs, the quote-unquote now what moment from fake news CNBC. Interesting to see the interesting things happening with these the old guard, essentially. I mean, cryptocurrency in the green today. So really I could continue and talk about the same old things that we talk about with cryptocurrency, or we could talk about how McDonald's has been replacing workers with touchscreen kiosks, and we're slowly seeing technology phasing out the various different old jobs that kids would be getting, working at the grocery store, for example, working at Walmart. These things are being essentially inherited by the elderly who don't have any money saved up, or essentially got screwed over in one way or another. The fact of the matter is these jobs are less and less available, and at the same time they're in higher demand. So it's an interesting pressure essentially that's been building up, especially also seeing the world debt clock right here. If you guys are unfamiliar with this, it's always something to pay attention to. And another thing is, it's funny to see Best Buy stock dropping, and even more funny is to see all the people who are freaking out and panicking because they're like, oh, Best Buy is going out of business, Walmart is going out of business, Target's going out of business, talking about Toys R Us went out of business, and retail in general is not looking very good. But what essentially people don't realize is that the paradigm, the pendulum has shifted. Nowadays, people are buying stuff on Amazon and buying beauty products from Amazon in record numbers as well. So you can kind of tell where a lot of this record high stock money might even be going towards just getting pumped into Mark Bezos's pocket and so forth. And it's interesting to see all these different things happening, and essentially all these different pressures building up all around the board. But it's important for me to just make this point right now. Don't feel bad for Best Buy. Don't feel bad for Walmart going out of business. If anything, it's funny to see these things happening. It's funny to see the news, the CNBCs of the world, and all their stocks collapsing because essentially they can't live up to the new paradigm, which essentially cryptocurrency is at the center of. We're seeing cryptocurrency really dominating across the board on all different sectors, up to and including interrupting the monopoly that was previously held by the establishment. In a lot of ways, we see Tron really making headway and taking over as far as the various different social medias are concerned, and the various different platforms that provide media. And this is interesting. It's also interesting to see how Ripple and so forth, Stellar, have been making really interesting headways into implementing crypto and blockchain into the various different everyday banking system that everybody and their grandma is already involved with. And I know people have mixed feelings about Ripple XRP and Stellar, but at the same time, it's interesting to give them their due where credit's due, because they do have the partnerships to back up a lot of the interesting things that are happening. And we're in the age of Bitcoin. We're in the age of seeing Bitcoin at Walmart. They sell little chocolate Bitcoins at Walmart now. If you don't know, you can Google that. It's pretty funny. All these different things happening, but reality's checking in, and realistically, you are inheriting Best Buy, because where are people buying their phone cases now? Well, they're going to Amazon, and who is selling on Amazon? Well, that's you. And if you could take one thing away from this video, it's the fact that you could also be cashing in on so many different things, not only cryptocurrency, this paradigm shift, but we're also celebrating the decline of these old guard, Facebook, you name it. They're all essentially the social media bubbles popping. The monopoly that was once held on the retail is essentially being redistributed, and it's the beauty of capitalism. Essentially, it's the beauty of the free market, and it's essentially anybody can be an entrepreneur. So it's a really great time in history for that entrepreneurial perspective. And right now, essentially, and really, those of us who are also in that clique of being interested in the cryptocurrency side of the internet, well, it is also going to be interesting when the bubble finally does burst and the house of cards comes crashing down, because of course the stock market's at its all-time highs. So in conclusion, once upon a time, if you're under the age of 30 and you have that entrepreneurial drive, or even if you're under the age of 35 and you want to really accomplish something, the point is, don't buy an expensive car so that you can flex for your friends when you could have invested that money, when that money could have, obviously I'm not going to give you any advice. This is all just my opinion on what one might do to accomplish success. Obviously, this isn't directed towards any individual, but it's a gold mine right now with Amazon. And for anybody who can learn the craft, it's much easier to learn how to be a online proprietor of basically anything rather than trying to make it in the rat race that's really going on. And really, the house of cards is going to come tumbling down eventually, and cryptocurrency is going to rise, and we will see the rise of the smart economy, the rise of the Internet of Things, and it's a beautiful thing for those of us who know how to take advantage of it. But of course, there are going to be people who are caught right up in the middle of the storm, but of course we're not going to be one of them, because we're the smart people. So if you could take one thing away from this video, it's that there's no time to wait. You need to take action right away, and you need to do it today, realistically, because you're probably already behind as far as but who knows, maybe you're one of those people out there who's already accomplishing these different things. And it's always important to tread lightly and make your own decisions and proceed, according to your own due diligence and doing your own research and, coming to your own conclusions about these sort of things. But the fact of the matter is the stock market's at its all-time highs. So do you expect it to go down from here? I don't know. Will it continue to soar upwards? It can't go upwards forever, and whatever goes up must come down eventually. So of course, cryptocurrency, however, is not at its all-time highs, which is also interesting because if the stock market's at its all-time highs, well, perhaps one of those whales, or perhaps even all of them, might eventually take interest in other markets because their pockets are so full now with all this stock money. It's, of course, they're keeping large part of their investments probably in this sector, pending what happens on the global scale. But cryptocurrency is also something that's coming to happen on the global scale, and Amazon is going to be dominating in so many ways. All the ways that I talk about cryptocurrency shifting the paradigm, Amazon essentially is right at the center of that as far as decentralizing retail and making it available for people to sell things directly out of their homes. So it's a great time for everyone. And really this video is essentially just to let everybody know to wake up that it's 2018 and there's opportunity everywhere you look. So all that being said, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not your dad, but all that being said, I hope you guys have a good day and stay relevant. And of course, follow us on Snapchat or Facebook or whatever. If you want, links will be in the description.